Hey, this is Strive with the Temple Secrets Podcast, Episode 1, Self-Mastery. What if I gave you a secret 3-part formula for mastering yourself? Would you be interested? Today we'll be discussing this secret and sacred formula to mastering your life. Stay tuned. So the big question is, how are we living in these days and times? These uncertain times. Violence is at an all-time high. The world is in a pandemic, and the economy is crumbling before our very eyes. How are people like us able to center ourselves, stay rooted, and balanced in times like these? How do we remain that rock and that foundation for our families? How do we develop that thick skin to weather the storm? That's the question. All I could recall is a stern voice by the judge telling me, "You don't look like the kind of guy that should be in jail." He quickly hits his gavel and says with a stern voice, "Get out of my courtroom." Thankful for not becoming another statistic, my mind drifted on the things that happened in my life, the direction of my life and where I was going. I had to do something. At age 19, I realized if I didn't learn how to control my mind, someone else will, and it won't be beneficial to my well-being. This was where my journey began. I had to move back from Virginia to North Carolina and be under the supervision of my parents until my probation expired. This was definitely a transition, being that I had my own apartment on the ocean front of the Chesapeake Bay. I had a nice little hustle with a lot of pretty women. It was nice. Now I'm riding back with my parents with the focus on changing my life. Back then I would have never knew what I would come across that would change myself and many others for years to come. While in Norfolk, I came across many knowledgeable brothers. We would build on great conversations about ancient Egypt, astronomy, health, spiritual disciplines, as well as guidance. This one book in particular resonated with me, called The Book of Life. This book didn't even have a bind. It was a collection of lessons that I received from a brother somewhere in Harlem. This book explained how the father traveled the globe and learned all the different martial arts on the planet in search for self-mastery. That verse hit me hard. All of a sudden, an enormous amount of information flooded my frontal lobe, linking to all the past experiences and fights I had growing up in the hood. I realized I've been on the warrior path. I came back home and started to look for a teacher to teach me in the ways of martial arts. Martial arts is a way for me to learn discipline, control my mind, and tap into the deeper resources of myself, the true path of self-mastery. I visited a number of schools, yet they didn't really interest me until I ran across the last one. It was a small place with black mats and cold tile floors for the onlookers to watch. The teachers were dressed in black like ninjas, with a picture of a dragon with balls of energy coming forth from the dragon's palms. This school was definitely different. It was the school of the dragon, the secret and sacred techniques of the art of breathing, the school of Qigong. Now, as you listen to this, you might want to go inside and make a connection that applies to you. Martial arts is not for everyone, but freedom is. Happiness and success is for everyone. This can be grasped if one makes it their business to dig deep, focus, and discipline themselves. The deck has been stacked against you, against many of us. Yet we don't have to play the game. You can always put the cards down, get your own game, and play in your own parameters. This is true power. Having the ability to master one's life by circumscribing one's action within one's life with due bounds. As you tune in and listen to this wisdom, you might want to absorb this at a deeper level. There are 3 secret components to this ancient formula of mastery. You're probably already aware of the fact that for one to change, one has to open up for it. So open up your mind to these secret techniques I learned from sitting at the feet of grand masters. Let this wisdom sink in. Self-mastery is self-governance, having the ability to govern oneself over time. People became less responsible, gave up their ability to self-govern themselves. They started to trust less in themselves and more into leaders who displayed great influence but lacked a moral compass. Does this sound familiar? The focus of self-mastery is taking that inner journey, yet most reversed that polarity and became more physical, bending to person, places, and things, moving to and fro, back and forth, to the swinging pendulum of those in control. This is where we are right now. Those who hear this calling are returning back to that inner journey of knowing self. In ancient Egypt and other cultures, great power came in threes. Their secret formula is based on a three-step formula. The first step is a secret formula of the breath. To speak on the art and science of the breath could take many volumes of books, but to put it simply, the breath is the first stage to transformation. When one breathes with the focus intention, it opens up the first level, which is relaxation. To relax is to let go of any stress one has been holding on to mentally, emotionally, and physically. Deep breathing alters one's vibration, giving one the ability to change one's mood, mind state, and consciousness almost immediately. As you sink deeper into relaxation, your mind goes there as well. This links us into the second secret component of this formula, which is sound. In the beginning was a sacred tone that created reality and existence as we know it. Scientists have discovered that the very existence of reality is based off of tones and frequencies. If the breath is the key, then the door is meditation. The power of vibrations and sounds is the movement of the key, unlocking the lock, opening the door. In ancient Egypt, Ptah was called the opener. He held a big staff which represented a giant key. This key was used and vibrated the sacred tones in nature to move great stones, which helped build the pyramids. The third secret component of this formula is meditation. Meditation is one of the oldest sciences ever to exist. Meditation is the most powerful tool you can use to master anything in your life. There's no limit to the power of the mind, and when one learns how to eliminate all straying thoughts, control it, and direct one's mind, that mind becomes a very powerful force to be reckoned with. Imagine using your mind to your fullest potential. Have you ever seen Limitless? Having the ability to unlock the powers of your mind to almost do anything? For real. The breath is the key. The frequencies and tones turn the key, and meditation opens the door. Meditation is the gateway.